So as a kid, our main character actually won 2 succubus sisters at a ring toss game, playing with the white one by day, and hanging out with the black one at night. But eventually, he just got bored of them. He decided to be nice and set them free, but then he accidentally overhears them talking. The younger sister asks if the older one is even capable, since he is finally an adult now. She tells her to let her take over if she can't handle it, because she is losing her mind. The older sister grits her teeth and tells her to shut up, asking if she thinks she doesn't want to. She complains that if she didn't care about human morals, she would have tied him up at home long ago. This absolutely terrifies our main character, and he accidentally bumps into the door, making a loud noise. The sisters realize they've been caught and immediately suggest just taking care of him right then and there. Bro, this is actually crazy. Lately, our main character has been realizing his pet succubi are acting super sus. For starters, they keep sending him some incredibly weird messages. Like one text asking him if he wants to see a scar on her inner thigh. He texts back telling her she is a total troll and her illness is clearly getting out of hand. He threatens to call her older sister, which instantly panics the younger one, Liu Ruxue. She begs him not to tell her sister, making him think she still has some common sense left. But then she texts back saying she just doesn't want her sister to know she's secretly pleasing him. Because if her sister finds out, she will literally fight her to be his pet. No shot. This is wild. He genuinely thinks she has lost her mind. Like there is no way her sister would ever do that. The older sister, Liu Ruyan, is famously cold and distant. She would never mess around like this. So he promises not to tell, but warns he will personally deal with her once his meeting is over. She is actually thrilled, complaining that the slap he gave her yesterday left her cheek a bit sore. She literally asks if he can slap the other side today because it is itching for some attention. Annoyed, he heads straight back home, and the second he steps through the front door, Liu Ruxue immediately throws herself all over him. Honestly, her face is incredibly gorgeous. With those beautiful eyes and flawless porcelain skin, she basically looks like a living doll. She sniffs him up and down, and suddenly her cute succubus ears pop right out. Twitching them, she instantly pouts, complaining that he smells like another woman. She accuses him of going out to play with other girls again, making him sigh in frustration. He pinches the bridge of his nose, feeling a massive headache coming on. He asks her how many times he has to repeat that he was just out working. The women he met were strictly business partners, not whatever crazy thing she is imagining. He tells her to stop talking so wildly at her age, while literally peeling her off his chest. Heading to his room, he tells her to fetch him a glass of water, but she doesn't budge. Instead, she wraps her cool metallic tail right around his leg to hold him back. She asks in a super dramatic pout why he isn't slapping her like he promised earlier. He yanks his leg free from her tail, telling her to stop asking so many questions. He says he simply changed his mind and complains about her constant pestering. She was never this talkative before, and seeing his genuine annoyance, she finally backs off. Not wanting to push her luck, she quickly runs off to get his water. Exhausted from his meeting, he downs the water and decides to take a quick nap. The second she sees him climbing into bed, her eyes completely light up. She points out it is freezing today and asks if his bed feels cold. When she offers to warm it up for him, he realizes it really is freezing. Since waiting for the electric blanket takes too long, utilizing a high-temperature succubus is actually a genius move. He waves her over and she absolutely beams as she hops right into bed with him. This girl spreads out. Super warm. She is basically a giant heating pad, just like her older sister. With a perfect heat source, our MC finally warms up. Sleep hits fast. He's about to drift off. But suddenly, the girl beside him whispers that she has other warm spots. She actually guides his hand toward a very dangerous zone. Ah, hell no! He snaps his eyes open. She looks totally innocent, but her ears are bright red. He warns her that heat cycles are only for spring. Remember, he literally raised both sisters like pets. So what is this play? Is she trying to seduce her master? No way! He kicks her straight off the bed. Get out! Liu Ruxue looks completely heartbroken. She complains that he was not this cold when warming the sheets. That is different. He wanted physical heat exchange, but she wanted biological exploration. Liu Ruxue retorts that she also meant physical exercise. He points to the door. Just leave. Later that night, the older sister, Liu Ruyan, gets home at 9 p.m. He has her massage his shoulders while complaining about her sister. Liu Yan pauses and apologizes in her calm, cool voice. She promises to deal with her later. Good girl. That is how a pet should behave. Completely loyal and obedient. Honestly, Liu Ruyan has always kept her ears and tail hidden. She behaves just like a regular human butler. That includes managing his 36 female dogs and 28 female cats. Our MC is extremely satisfied with her work. He decides to give her some head pats to relieve his stress. Petting dogs is the ultimate relaxation. She is still wearing her professional business suit, meticulously buttoned up while keeping her back perfectly straight. He orders her to show her ears. Suddenly, 2 fluffy, pointed ears pop out from her hair. Absolutely adorable and incredibly soft to touch. He is completely zoned out enjoying this when she grabs his hand. She gently bites his finger, her eyes suddenly turning flush red. Her breathing gets heavy. Can I kiss you? Bro, what? No shot. Are both of these sisters losing their minds? He slaps her and tells her to get out. But she just offers him her other cheek. This is insane. Who programmed these two? He loses his temper and kicks her out completely. Liu Ruyan is literally seething, telling Chu Mo she refuses to buy his excuses. She straight up kicks him out, telling him to get lost along with the sister. But let us rewind. Chu Mo actually rescued these 2 sisters when he was 8. Because of some family issues, he lived completely by himself. He used to bring home stray animals for company, so finding them was a total accident. At the time, they had super pointy ears and matching pointy tails. He low-key thought they were mutated animals, but they confessed they were actually succubi. Of course, a little kid had no idea what a succubus was back then. He just treated them like cute puppies, especially since they walked on all 4s. They were great for giving him shoulder massages, and they lived like this for 10 years. But now they are suddenly acting completely wild, leaving him scratching his head in confusion. He starts mumbling to himself, wondering if he should finally set them free. After all, he has made plenty of friends and does not really need constant company. They are different species, and keeping them trapped in human society feels wrong. Plus, judging by their behavior, he is pretty sure they have officially reached mating age. Honestly, this plot twist is getting pretty stressful for him to think about. Deciding that setting them free is best, he heads over to Liu Ruyan's room that night. But just as he reaches the door to knock, he hears a tense argument coming from inside. Liu Ruxue asks her sister if she is going to step up. He is finally an adult now, so why haven't they pounced yet? She complains that she does not want to end up as a rejected, lonely succubus. Her mating season is driving her crazy, but her dense master only thinks she feels warm. She calls him a total blockhead, wondering if he is even a normal guy. Leaving 2 top-tier succubi completely untouched. Then Liu Ruyan speaks up with a gritting voice. Instead of her usual sweet tone, she sounds absolutely furious right now. She tells her sister to shut up, claiming she wants him just as badly. If not for these annoying human rules, she would have tied him to the bed ages ago. Before he can process this wild conversation, a gust of wind blows the creaky door open. Both sisters instantly look up and lock eyes with him standing in the doorway. The 2 of them look absolutely stunning standing there, with goddess figures. Shrouded in the dim bedroom light, their faces are hard to see clearly. But their cold, heavy presence is practically suffocating. It is like 2 apex predators warning a helpless prey that just walked in. Chu Mo shivers, completely blown away by how insanely gorgeous they have grown up to be. Living with them every day made him blind to it, but this view hits different. Liu Ruxue softly calls him brother, looking a bit confused if he's feeling cold. She asks if he wants to cuddle in her 37-degree arms. Actually, she is burning up at over 40 degrees right now. That mating heat is active, and she is not holding back. Liu Ruyan slowly walks over and gently takes his cold hand into her own. She asks why his hands are cold and where his jacket is. Feeling guilty, he says he only planned to drop by for a quick chat. He did not expect to stay long, but he was wrong. After eavesdropping on that wild conversation, his hands are not cold from the weather. He is literally shaking from pure shock, but he still has to act natural. Our guy decides to pretend he heard absolutely nothing, lamenting his cursed life. He thinks if he knew these two would turn out like this, he would have preferred dying of loneliness over rescuing them. Liu Ruyan seems to be going through a rough patch too, her usually gentle voice sounding quite hoarse. She asks if coming to see her at this hour means he has something special to say. Suddenly, Liu Ruxue opens his eyes wide and forcefully squeezes right in between them, crying out to his brother. He accuses our guy of being biased, whining that he and his sister were rescued together. He says he cannot play favorites while wrapping his arms tightly around the neck of our main guy. He starts crying like a giant puppy, begging him not to only hang out with his sister. I do not want to call you brother-in-law later, he whines, saying the thought breaks his heart. My heart is shattering, he cries, planting a desperate kiss on his cheek. He keeps clinging and sobbing, claiming he is not any worse than his sister. Our skills are pretty much identical, he insists, leaving our main character completely speechless. What skills are you even talking about? Our guy asks, desperately trying to push Liu Ruxue off. But the guy is built different. He just clings tighter and refuses to let go. Instead, he reaches out to grab Liu Ruyan, begging his sister to say something. He reminds her that she promised to even pluck the stars for him when they were kids. So why does that promise suddenly not count for their brother, he asks, while Liu Ruyan pinches her temples and tells him to quiet down. But Liu Ruxue completely ignores her, screaming that he only wants his brother. He turns back to our guy, pleading with him not to push him away ever. He claims he can even be his sister, too. Nah, that is actually crazy. Our guy stays silent for a second before straight up biting him on the shoulder. Yelping in pain, Liu Ruxue instinctively lets go of him. Our guy snaps, asking whoever agreed to date his sister, pointing out he made up the brother-in-law title himself. Why are you so dramatic? Our guy sighs as Liu Ruxue looks at him with teary eyes. Then why did you come find my sister so late? He sniffs, accusing him of wanting to get intimate. Get intimate, my foot, our guy snaps, telling him to stop making things up. Check the time, he snaps, pointing out that 8 p.m. is hardly late at night. After getting chewed out, Liu Ruxue finally shuts up, not daring to speak further. He just stares with puppy dog eyes, while Liu Ruyan watches them with deep, unreadable eyes. Wait, Liu Ruyan suddenly speaks up, asking if he heard what they were talking about earlier. Now, can he actually admit to that? Absolutely no shot. He plays dumb, asking what they could have possibly heard, pretending they were just whispering secrets. Liu Ruyan just curls her lips into a smirk, staying completely silent. Our guy sighs in relief, but her very next words drop like an absolute bomb. She mentions discussing ways to get intimate with him, like tying him up, leaving him unable to believe his own ears. Before she can finish that insane sentence, he instantly covers her mouth, telling her to stop. He warns her he will let it slide this time, but Liu Ruxue cautiously asks about next time. What about next time, he asks, and our guy says he will ignore that too. After getting completely shut down like that, the two finally start behaving themselves. Fast forward, and Liu Ruxue has not texted our guy for several days now. Our guy is actually feeling pretty relieved, and the new text he gets today looks surprisingly normal. The message says he does not want to be his dog anymore, begging him to let it go. Honestly, who would even want to accept someone acting like their literal pet anyway? So this is actually great! If they stop this dog business, he can finally set them free! Over the past few years, he has heard that dog line way too many times. Ruxue texts him saying she is officially done playing the submissive little puppy. She claims she is tired of him and will not even send him spicy photos anymore. All this cringe, copy-pasted text drama is exhausting, so he thinks this is actually for the best. But then she drops a bomb, claiming she is actually catching real feelings for him this time. She says she is his puppy, but Qin is convinced she just copied that cringe quote online. Bro really thought she changed for a second. He just puts his phone down and goes back to work. But the massive headache is real, so he decides to skip going home and books a hotel room instead. Right as he is planning his escape, his phone dings with a message from the other sister, Liu Ruyan. Now, Ruyan is usually the normal sibling who only messages him about actual professional business. She asks him if he knows the perfect milk-to-cream ratio for making egg tarts. Thinking she is baking him afternoon tea, he just replies that he has no idea. He tells her to look it up online, but she says she already did. She says her proportions are still off and asks him if Mr. Pei can give her a personal demonstration. Wait, did she just ask about his physical proportions or their compatibility ratio? What is she even implying? Is he just overthinking, or are they playing him? Seriously, what would you even do in his shoes? This chaotic conversation officially kills any desire he had to go back home tonight. Alright, so he calls up his adopted boy Asan to hang out at the hotel. Yes, he actually adopted this kid back in the day. Fun fact, when he first adopted Ruyan and Ruxue, he was super lazy and just named him Ada and Ah-er. But they complained those sounded like generic NPC names, so they chose their own. Asan also changed his name, but Yun Xiao is like, why would a young guy name himself Qin Shou? It sounds totally sketchy, but Qin Shou tells him he just does not get it. He claims the name is unique and makes him unforgettable to everyone. Right now, Qin Shou is looking at him with pure gossip energy, asking how the sisters have been acting weird. How are they weird? He asks, low-key enjoying Yun Xiao's absolute misery here. Qin Shou literally warns him that succubi are built different, and they are never up to any good. Yet Yun Xiao kept them around anyway, and now he suggests Yun Xiao should just accept both of them. Since they are both completely obsessed with him anyway, hearing this, Yun Xiao just flops onto the bed. Completely exhausted, he tells Qin Shou to stop talking absolute nonsense. Accept them? They are already planning to tie him up and lock him away in a room. Who knows what they would do if he did? Suddenly, Qin Shou crawls onto the bed and leans in really close. He wraps him in a tight hug and tells Yun Xiao how incredibly handsome he is. No wonder those two sisters are totally after him. Qin Shou says if he were a girl living with him, he would fall too. He touches his chin, thinking deeply. Wait, scratch that. Actually, he realizes he loves him right now, even though he is a guy. Because gender does not really stop true love anyway. Yun Xiao is literally in sheer horror. Was he not supposed to have the tragic orphan storyline where he ends up dying alone? How did adopting a few kids turn his life into a crazy harem where everyone wants him? He literally got the reverse harem plot armor, but he wants out. He does not want romance, and he definitely does not want this. As he tears up, Qin Shou leans in to wipe his tears. He says they taste salty, but Yun Xiao smells absolutely amazing. Yun Xiao springs up and bolts out of there. Bro realized absolutely nobody can be trusted. With nowhere else to go, he decides to visit his actual pets, but the moment he opens his apartment door, instead he is greeted by a chaotic crowd of women. And his living room is packed with over a dozen female dogs, from golden retrievers to border collies. Look at that, a Samoyed and a Doberman. Oops, they are actually all spirit entities, and after some quick questioning, our boy's head is absolutely spinning after finding out that Liu Ruyan took in all these strays. Wait, aren't animals forbidden from becoming spirits? Suddenly, a gorgeous golden retriever walks over smiling brilliantly. She apologizes, begging him not to blame Sister Liu Ruyan for keeping them. They literally begged her to take them in, which leaves him totally speechless. The girl he raised like a puppy is now doing this. She just went out and adopted a whole pack of her own. Talk about awkward silence. Suddenly, the door opens and Liu Ruyan is standing right at the entrance. Seeing all these gorgeous girls crowding around him, her face instantly drops into a dark stare. She demands to know if he skipped coming home just for them. Are she and Liu Ruxue not enough? Satisfy? Bro, what? Our boy completely loses it, asking if she even knows what she is saying right now. Liu Ruyan drags him back home, keeping completely silent during the drive. She looks incredibly serious and angry, so he does not even dare protest going back. Too afraid to look directly, he just sneaks peeks at her through the car rearview mirror. Surprisingly, her face is actually blushing, and she is turning redder by the second. On high alert, he silently shrinks back and slides further away toward the passenger door. He maintains his distance as the car enters the garage. Before he can even try to make a run for it, she instantly grabs him and scoops him right up. Unlike the playful Liu Ruxue, Liu Ruyan always wears a freezing poker face. Even though he has rarely seen her angry, he is still low-key absolutely terrified of her. He softly calls out her name, desperately trying to wake up her frozen conscience. He nervously asks if she is kidnapping him for some toxic forced romance, which actually makes her pause her steps.
He literally bursts out crying, screaming that he is absolutely not playing hard to get and wants none of this.
He has done good deeds his entire life, so how on earth did he end up in this wild situation? They are literally not even the same species, so this is absolutely a hard pass.
He suggests that if they are struggling, they should just help each other out.
He promises not to tell a single soul, because he would rather see them together anyway. Liu Ruyan is both amused and absolutely furious, snapping that she is not that desperate to settle for just anyone. Realizing that he is genuinely terrified of her, her cold tone finally softens.
She promises she is not doing anything weird. She is literally just bringing him back home.
It is dangerous outside lately, but he refuses to believe a single word unless she makes a solemn vow. She swears she will never do anything to him against his will, making a heavy vow.
If she breaks it, both she and Liu Ruxue will have their souls completely obliterated.
He decides to trust her, and meanwhile, Liu Ruxue is waiting at the door.
Upon seeing her sister bring him back safely, she lets out a massive sigh of relief. Skipping her usual crazy talk, she just runs over to hug him tight, begging him never to leave them behind.
She promises they will behave from now on, which makes him feel a lot better. This is exactly how good puppies should behave, and those past few days were definitely just a rebellious phase. He gently pats both of their heads, telling them it is all good as long as they learned their lesson. They are still his precious pups, which instantly makes both of their faces blush red. Fluffy dog ears instantly pop out, and he grabs one each to stop them from just standing around. Time to head inside, so he orders Liu Ruxue to mop the floor while Liu Ruyan starts cooking. Once they finish, they also have to massage his shoulders, and surprisingly, neither of them complains. Blushing red, they immediately get straight to work, and soon the floor is sparkling clean while dinner is served. He nods in approval, telling them both that they are very good dogs. Acting like a responsible pet owner, our MC asks about their mating season while casually eating. He tells them that humans usually have 3 ways to handle this situation. Liu Ruxue looks at him with hope, but our guy just suggests getting them neutered. Her face goes completely pale, and she instantly shakes her head because ain't no way.
The second option is breeding, which makes Liu Ruxue and Liu Ruyan instantly look at each other.
They get all shy and admit they would be totally down to mate with their brother. The MC rolls his eyes and drops the third option. Just use some toys to handle it themselves. Liu Ruyan decides to just hold it in, and Liu Ruxue quickly agrees to do the same. He finishes eating and heads out, saying holding it in is fine as long as they stay away from him. After all, owners do not mess with pets. But then the temperature outside suddenly takes a massive dive. It gets down to -8 degrees at night, and normally he would have called them over. He would have had Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue taking turns keeping his bed nice and warm. But right now, no shot our guy is letting 2 succubi in heat. Crawl into his bed, especially with the AC blasting all day. To make things worse, humidifier broke. Now the air is bone dry. He asks Liu Ruxue to bring him some fruit, and right on cue, she walks in. She is wearing a maid outfit she found somewhere, and the top is insanely revealing. Honestly, the skirt is ridiculously short, leaving almost nothing covered. Seriously, this is wild. He asks if she is switching to physical attacks since she promised to stop crazy talking. She awkwardly tugs at her tiny skirt, asking pitifully if Big Brother does not like it. She says this outfit had the highest ratings online, and everyone was super satisfied. Apparently, their partners instantly fell in love with it, but one look has his eyes burning. Like, is there a chance she actually needed a decent, proper? And it is definitely not this spicy cosplay outfit. Liu Ruxue clenches her fists in pure frustration. Punching the wall, she calls him an absolute beast. She whines about getting totally scammed by that little liar, and our main character is honestly just face-palming at her gullibility. Devastated, she yells that the liar claimed he and her brother are both guys. He allegedly knew his exact tastes and promised he would love the outfit. Crying about the betrayal, she walks over to bury her head in his chest. She begs for a comforting hug, but he instantly pushes her away. He tells her hugs cost extra. Besides, didn't she just make over 8,000 yuan this month? No freebies here. He demands all of her money.
He just wants to teach her a lesson so his own recent suffering is not entirely in vain.
Liu Ruxue actually reaches into her insanely short, practically non-existent skirt to grab the money. He's actually feeling pretty smug, thinking thank goodness he brought along that video he literally just scrolled past today.
She really believes that loving someone means giving them all your money, so she went and took out a loan on her salary card. She was just waiting for the right moment to hand it over, giggling while rummaging through her clothes.
She pulls a bank card straight out of a tight little pocket, and honestly, our boy is completely shocked. Like, that skirt is incredibly short. How on earth does it even have pockets? This design is crazy.
Liu Ruxue gets a little shy and admits that yes, there are actually 2 pockets. She just doesn't get why the back hem of the skirt is basically non-existent.
Talk about drafty. This skirt is literally long in the front, but completely open in the back. Our boy honestly never noticed the back was completely open, but now he absolutely can't unsee it. Hugging? No shot. Go stand over there.
Liu Ruxue pouts, complaining that she already handed over her salary card, so he can't go back on his word. Pei closes his eyes, trying to survive this insane visual shock. He tells her to pack up and get out, but Ruxue refuses. She wiggles into his chest, her black tail swishing. Click, the door opens and the older sister Ruyan walks in. Ruyan catches Ruxue completely red-handed and stands there speechless. Her eyes narrow instantly. Dangerous vibes. She warns Ruxue that dressing like this again means losing her tail.
Ruyan threatens to tie it in a knot, making her sister whine.
Get out and put some real clothes on, she demands.
Ruxue obediently scurries away, too scared to argue. Ruyan hands the milk to Pei and sits down next to the vanity.
She gets deadly serious, warning him not to walk home alone.
She wants to take turns escorting him, but Pei quickly waves it off. Honestly, both sisters are insanely gorgeous, and if they keep visiting,
the rumors would be completely out of control. People will think he is keeping 2 young models.
Understanding his worry, Ruyan suggests just waiting outside the building instead.
She asks if he remembers that pack of puppy spirits from before. Pei nods. No way he is forgetting a nest of pretty girls.
Ruyan reveals they were actually kidnapped by some very bad guys. The kidnapper is a literal demon who hunts down special species. And because Ruyan rescued them, that demon is hunting her down now. She is terrified he will target Pei next. Her guy is stunned. Wait, what? Puppy spirits and now actual demons? This urban fantasy plot twist is getting completely out of hand. He has to adapt to all these crazy magical creatures suddenly appearing.
He tells them not to loiter outside his office building anymore. Instead, they should guard him inside his office. Survival over reputation always. Just as he decides to hire more human bodyguards, Ruxue bursts in.
She is thrilled. 24-hour protection duty with her favorite human.
Her cheerful, naive energy is adorable, but the office gossip starts immediately. Within a week, the rumors are already wild. Employees are whispering about President Pei having 2 gorgeous personal models. They are sisters, too. Stunning.
Some complain that bringing them to work every day is totally unprofessional. They wonder how he can be so brazen about it. But others defend him, telling the older critics to mind their business. Gossip is dangerous. Keep your head down or get fired. While everyone is whispering outside, Pei is facing a different struggle inside. Ruxue shuts the office door behind her, finally blocking the noise. With the room quiet, she slowly approaches him.
She lets her cool tail slide out, wrapping it gently around his arm.
Placing the soft tip in his hand, she smiles to relieve his stress. Brother, can you just tell everyone that I am your girlfriend? Besides, that word demon sounds way too harsh, she whines, acting spoiled. She leans in to kiss his cheek, but he pinches her tail and shoves her away. No flirting during work hours, he warns. Ruxue sits aside, totally pouting. She puts her headphones on to game. She's just there for company anyway. Ruyan heard the rumors too, leaning in to ask why he is not handling them. They are pretty nasty. He keeps his eyes on his files. He looks up. Wherever there are people, there is gossip. Even if it is banned openly, they will still whisper behind his back. So why not let them talk? He can track how wild things get.
Besides, the new project is complex. Funding and paperwork are hitting major roadblocks. Feeling stressed, he reaches his hand out to Ruyan. Squeezing her tail is his ultimate stress relief. But she stays silent for a long moment. Finally, she hands it over, and it is actually thicker than her sister's. But the scales are just as beautiful, so he starts lightly scratching at them. They do not budge at all, perfectly seamless. While brainstorming solutions, he keeps kneading her tail, missing how heavy her breathing gets. He looks up and catches her staring straight at him. Her eyes are burning, like she is about to completely lose control. Startled by the raw intensity, our boy immediately lets go of her tail. He quickly apologizes, wondering why her reaction is so much stronger than Ruxue's. Ruyan exhales slowly, her hands clenching tightly at her sides. In a raspy voice, she mutters that she just overreacted. Seems she suppresses her succubus instincts way too much. He rubs his tired eyes. Honestly, he does not get why she restrains herself instead of handling it alone. Why hold back like this? Suppressing those urges constantly cannot be good for his health. Okay, that is just gross. I am literally speechless. So getting close to me would be even dirtier? Talk about self-loathing. And what about me? Liu Ruyan's throat tightened as she gulped hard. Rarely stuttering, she stubbornly insisted it was not gross at all. Honestly, if you are down for it, I would actually love that. The sisters Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue treat me so well. If only they didn't constantly try to hook up, spending my whole life with them would actually be amazing. But once they start talking about love and feelings, things get way too complicated. Plus, who even knows if succubi and humans have reproductive isolation? If not, there is a chance of pregnancy, and I definitely do not want kids. My parents' train wreck of a marriage already left me with more than enough trauma. I am not passing that pain down, and besides, people always change. Will Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue always treat me this well? Nobody knows for sure. As Liu Ruyan heads out to heat up my dinner, I slap my forehead to stop this overthinking. I will deal with the future later instead of stressing out in advance. A while later, a sudden knock comes from the door, so I just yell, "Come in!" But nobody enters, and honestly, my stomach starts to drop. Why has she not come back yet? It has literally been 20 minutes! Microwaving dinner takes like 2 seconds, so I grab my phone and the keyboard nearby. I slowly crack the door open. Nobody is there. Just a small note. It only has a random address written on it, nothing else. Panicking, President Pei rushes outside to ask everyone around. But everyone is just confused, asking if President Pei is looking for his hot young model. Like she was literally just here. Did she suddenly vanish? No one has any clue where Liu Ruyan went, leaving Pei clutching that single scrap of paper. His palm stings, so he slowly opens his hand. The paper literally dissolves into thin air. When Liu Ruyan first mentioned that demons existed, he honestly thought she was crazy, but now he's actually tracked down the address. And seeing this bizarre creature standing outside a ruined cabin, he is forced to believe. This thing has 3 eyes, and they're all the exact same size. Evenly spaced across its face with absolutely no nose but a massive gaping mouth. The moment it spots Pei, it grins, stretching its mouth all the way to its temples. Honestly, it looks like its entire face is splitting in half. Talk about instant goosebumps. Pei demands to know where they are, but the demon just stays silent. Its 3 eyeballs just roll around, staring and sneering right at him. It is seriously creepy, but after a tense silence, the monster finally speaks. Its voice sounds like sandpaper, telling him that this human business had nothing to do with him. Why did he have to get involved? Pei forces down his panic, trying to stay calm. He asks if he's really the one who wanted to butt in. Didn't this creep literally leave an address to lure him here? At this, the demon stops smiling. Its eyeballs click and crack as they turn, but hey, he still showed up. He could have just walked away. Why would a human ever associate with a succubus? It is so bizarre, especially since humans always say those of other races can never be trusted. Yet here he is, risking his entire life for 2 succubi. Pei takes a deep breath, telling the demon that human culture is actually pretty deep. Since childhood, humans are taught that all species should be treated equally.
And that every race has its good and bad sides. But the demon is not buying this hypocrisy.
It points out that humans clearly despise demons, so why preach about equality and kindness?
Like, aren't those dogs it sells just ending up in human stomachs anyway?
Pei just nods. Exactly. Every species has its good and bad sides.
Humans are no exception. And besides, whoever said he hated demons?
If it hadn't kidnapped Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue, he wouldn't even care.
At this point, Pei decides to switch tactics and start sweet-talking.
If it lets them go, he might actually think it's a good demon.
The demon asks if it looks stupid, but Pei quickly plays it off. He claims it looks incredibly intelligent, but the demon suspects he's lying.
Desperate, Pei scrambles his brain for every single compliment he can think of. He insists he's being completely genuine and just praising its unique charm. Like, look at its perfect symmetry and its incredibly slender figure.
It has that mysterious, ethereal lady vibe down to an absolute science. It must be super popular in the underworld. He even asks if she has a husband. Since his succubus Ruyan knows plenty of handsome demons, she can totally hook her up. Suddenly, a weirdly blushing red creepily spreads across the demon's pale face.
It asks if he can really set her up with hot demon guys, and he nods frantically. Just release the girls first, and they will hook her up immediately.
The demon suddenly glares fiercely at our MC, telling him not to think a couple of sweet compliments.
And matching him up with a girlfriend will settle everything, which completely catches our boy off guard.
He quickly realizes this guy is way too sharp to fall for any cheap flattery.
But then the demon drops the real bomb. He wants 6,000 yuan as compensation for his losses.
He wants the money he paid to the shop owner to rescue those little dog spirits back. Actually, he changes his mind and demands 10,000 yuan to cover a whole month of lost wages.
Talk about a scare. He thought he was a goner, but the demon just wants cash.
Total bargain. 10,000 yuan to save those lives is so worth it. To prove his point, the demon smugly shows off the special ropes he used to tie them up. Apparently, these ropes are custom-made specifically to deal with cat spirits and avenge the dog snatching.
He even went to the black market and spent 300 yuan just to get them.
Now his big, annoying mouth keeps moving as he demands a full reimbursement for that, too. Greedily asking for another 300 yuan, our MC tells him, fine, just untie them right now.
The second she gets untied, Liu Ruxue immediately kicks the demon as hard as she can.
Total coward. She screams at him for daring to kidnap her. The demon flies back several meters and lies on the ground, barely breathing at all. Yet he still raises a weak finger to demand another 1,000 yuan for medical bills. This only makes Liu Ruxue even more furious that he has the nerve to ask for medical expenses. She leans in to show our MC the massive bump on her head, crying that he drugged her. She says she passed out immediately after one sniff and almost smashed her face on the stairs. Her head is swollen like crazy, and yet this guy still has the audacity to ask for money. Our MC turns to check on Liu Ruyan and sees she has a huge bump on her head too. The demon protests, asking why they are not mentioning the time they fought him over the dog spirits. They beat him so badly he could not get out of bed for 2 weeks, only telling their side of the story. Both refuse to back down. As she tries to kick him again, our boy finally steps in to break up the fight. After taking in the Beast sisters, Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue, our MC has now adopted a demon too. He names him Ye Shaoqian. The guy looks absolutely terrifying, but he kept complaining that this was completely unfair. The demon argued that everyone's supposed to be equal, so why reject him just for being ugly? He asked if being ugly is a crime, pointing out they ruined his job in the first place. Otherwise, he could easily support himself, leaving our MC with no choice but to take him in. He even teaches him how to use makeup and cosplay so he can finally look like a human. Then our boy gives him a job as a debt collector, which perfectly fits his terrifying look. But the demon absolutely hates the name Ye Shaoqian and refuses to go by it. Since he complains it sounds awful, our boy tells him to just choose his own name. So he chooses the name Yue Chu Mo, prompting our MC to joke that he sounds like a melancholic beauty. But the demon totally misses the joke and gets angry, shouting about how much he hates humans. He warns our MC not to laugh at him, while Liu Ruxue still wants to fight him on sight.
To keep the peace, our boy has to send him away, while Liu Ruyan and Liu Ruxue stay behind. Just massive bruises everywhere. But the worst part is they are entering mating season again, giving our MC a massive headache. Honestly, what kind of ridiculous system is this where they keep going into heat every few days?
It is way too frequent, and our boy is completely running out of options at this point.
Liu Ruyan's dark eyes pool with pure desire as she struggles to hold back from touching him. But she holds back and pulls her tail right back with a soft apology. Since she is injured, she is way more sensitive, weeping as she rubs her tail against his calf.
She whimpers that she is not always in heat. She just never got any relief.
So she's basically been stuck in the same endless heat cycle, all while trying to pull her tail back. She apologizes, knowing our boy really is not into doing that kind of stuff. She promises not to talk crazy anymore, saying her sister taught her that respect is everything. She is down to wait until the MC is actually ready and willing. Our MC sees the sisters holding back so hard they look ready to ascend to heaven, and honestly, the tension is insane. So he asks them again, why don't you two just help each other out? Ruyan's long eyelashes tremble slightly as she desperately tries to hold herself back. But hearing that, she completely loses her grip and pulls our MC straight into her embrace. Then she grabs Ruxue, who is still clinging to him, and effortlessly yeets her out the door.
Ruyan shouts that she cannot wait any more and tells Ruxue to guard the door, making Ruxue complain that she lied about love being about restraint.
Ruxue yells outside, accusing her sister of tricking her into opening the door and demanding she open up if she is so brave. Ruxue is mad she is being left out, while the MC notes that Ruyan is actually surprisingly attentive. Our MC started out firmly saying no, but somehow things got out of hand. Long story short, they spent a chaotic night together, and when he wakes up the next morning, Ruyan's tail is still wrapped tightly around his waist, dragging him right back the moment he tries to move. She hugs him close again, while outside Ruxue is still screaming herself hoarse, calling him brother-in-law.
She is literally shouting the iconic line, "Open the door, I am my sister. You promised to give me whatever I wanted."
Wondering why that promise does not apply to her brother-in-law, the MC just pokes Ruyan's pointy ears. He asks Ruyan if it is really okay since her sister has been screaming out there all night. He was so exhausted last night that he knocked out the second his eyes closed. Now that he is fully rested, he realized Ruxue is still out there crying. Ruyan just pulls him a bit closer, planting a soft kiss on his cheek. She tells him to just ignore her, saying even real sisters have to keep their accounts separate. Husbands cannot be shared, and at a time like this, she is dead serious about that rule. The MC is like, wait, when you two first planned to lock me up, didn't you promise to split it one day each? Now it is basically a first-come, first-served situation, and once Qin Shou hears about this, he strokes his non-existent beard, looking at our boy with a smirk. He jokes that they are definitely going to end up in some wild brother-in-law drama soon. Knowing Ruxue won't let this slide, the MC decides to just push Qin Shou out the door. Things are already chaotic enough, so he tells Qin Shou to stop making trouble. But Qin Shou suddenly grabs his hand, totally offended by that. He claims he is actually here to play the role of the sister himself. Our boy is internally screaming because he is absolutely not trying to start a BL plotline here. This is wild. With his left hand completely trapped, he raises his right hand to threaten him with a slap. He hopes to scare him off and shut the door, but Qin Shou just grabs his other hand too. The guy literally takes a deep sniff of his hand and asks if he knows what happens when he strikes him. Apparently, before the slap even lands, he is already hit by the MC's captivating aura. The MC is losing his mind, screaming at this beast to stop kissing his hands. He begs him to let go because Ruxue's already on her way back. When Ruxue witnesses this, she completely loses it, realizing everything her sister taught her was a lie. She decides that if you love something, you should just take it by force. Because of her holding back, not only did her sister get ahead, but now this random beast is trying to steal her spot too. I am literally crying right now. Pro tip, never rescue random people. It just ruins your life, and honestly, normal pets are so much better. They never plot against their owners, but then Liu Ruxue whispers in my ear, calling me brother. She tells me she's a loyal puppy who only likes me, but then Liu Ruyan cuts in. saying she can be a beast too, and playing puppy is totally fine with her.
Song Chi Lo and the other two yell in unison for her to get lost.